The second way we use to generate widgets is through the extraWgts property. So to use extraWgts, we need to build a container first. Not container simple, we need a container, because container simple does not support extraWgts. And then through scripts we can create the components we want to render. So I'll just put a simple script. Want it to happen on mount. And we're just going to do a set state to extraWgts. The value can be an array, and in the array we can specify the components we want to render. So I'll add a label over there. And let's throw another one in there. There we see our two components. When you're dealing with extraWgts, there's also many cases in which you'll want to remove the extraWgit, and to do that you need to be able to refer to it by ID. You need to know what the ID, or relative ID obviously, will be. So to do that we'll need to specify, let's just hardcode the IDs. Give us one ID of L1, this one ID of L2. And let's go put a button inside our container as well that we can click on. L1, identify a script. Need a target. Now when we want to delete things, this holds true for deleting any kind of state. How we do that is the key becomes delete keys. Value is an array of objects, and each object specifies a key. This is the key we want to delete. Specifically, we want to delete extraWgts. And which extraWgit do we want to delete? So this is an array because we can delete multiple, and we can specify the ID in there. So there we see our button, there's 2, and clicking on that removes L1. So this may look like a lot, but it really is something you can copy and use over and over. It's often also something that, because people don't use it often, it is something that you need to go search for in your application, or go into the wiki and just see how it's done. So just go over it again. To delete any kind of state, we do a set state to delete keys. Delete keys is an array of objects. Each object indicates the key which we want to delete. In this case, we want to delete extraWgts, but we don't want to delete all of them. We just want to delete this one. I could also have specified all true, which then deletes all of them, which is the specific ID. Sometimes you'll also have situations where your extraWgts are being set multiple times, in which case you want to clear them first. How we do that is like this. So right before we set it, let's copy this action. So the same one we had earlier with all set to true. But now, because our next action is already a set state, what Opus will do is batch these together for optimization purposes, and in many cases you'll see that it doesn't do what you want it to do. So it's common practice to, right after you delete all your extraWgts, just add a wait action with a duration of 1 millisecond. So I think what we'll do is let's move this action to the button. So now when we click the button, let's make this add extraWgts, or set extraWgts. Let's do it without this action first, so without the IDs. So now clicking on it will just do a set state of extraWgts, which adds 2 new components. So clicking it once causes a crash. We're missing a type probably, so this is actions and actions. Let's fix that. There we go. So clicking it the first time does nothing, and that's because our target is wrong now. So we need to set the extraWgts of the panel. There we go. So we can keep adding, or if we want to, we can go remove them first. With the action we had previously, I'll just undo to go grab it again. So there's our set at the bottom, and at the top we're doing the delete keys to make sure we clear them all first. What are we missing now? Set state target panel delete keys. Oh, missing that target again. So clicking it again clears it first and then injects them again. In many cases you'll have situations where your extraWgts will also have scripts inside them. We'll do a quick example of that now. But this is something that gets quite complex if you don't understand script accesses, which will be in a lesson very soon. So let's change this label to a container. Let's remove those IDs, we don't need them anymore. So these are now containers. Let's just add one. And I guess we can also remove this part. Let's just keep it simple. So I'm going to add one new container, which I'm going to make it clickable. And let's add a widget inside the container. Let's make sure we can see these when we click. So there we see those being added. And let's give these actions now. So something you might want to do, for example, is delete the component that you've clicked on. So let's change this label to an icon, which just make this a close icon. So if you want to delete the components you've clicked on, we need to know the ID, as we know. So let's add our delete keys. Target being panel, key being delete keys, value an array of objects. I want to delete from extraWgts, and the value is now an array of objects where we specify the ID, and here we don't know what the ID is, well, not yet anyway. So first off, let's give this a hard-coded ID, and let's just hard-code it in there. Of course, this will only work for the first one. So clicking on it to add it, clicking on it to close it, which works for the first one. If we want to make this dynamic, we will need to access the ID of the component that we've clicked on, and the only way we can do that is by using a scoped accessor in this value over there, which is something we'll discuss in the next lesson.